Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction haunt entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we thank you very much for joining us this week as we report to you under the crushing weight of Tropical Storm Cristobal. Okay, maybe not so crushing weight.
Well, not yet.
We're ahead of it. The bands have been lashing us, and
since yesterday.
Since yesterday at noon, and it's been this game of storm, no storm, storm, no storm, storm, no storm ever since. And it's and what's happening is the bands are getting more intense and longer as it gets closer. And so we had to move up recording to Sunday afternoon. Thank you, like I said, to all of you who rearranged your schedule to be with us.
Right.
Because we have no guarantee of electricity at the normal time.
Yeah.
In fact, I can almost guarantee we won't have electricity, not because the storm's that powerful, but because we live in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because New Orleans. Expect power loss in any storm event, basically.
Yeah, any big storm. And even if we, do have power, we may not have internet, so it'd be even worse for you to try to watch us.
So yes, I know we are having some issues, apparently some lag. Mm-hmm. It looks like it is streaming well on my end. There's nothing I can do to improve it on my end. So Facebook be Facebook, yo. Yeah. But we're going to do the best we can. I'm sorry the chat will be a little bit behind today, but we will make do. But definitely take a moment if you have not done so and go to hauntweekly.com. That is our homepage, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, Haunt Weekly on Twitter. We're also at youtube.com/HauntWeekly. There's our YouTube channel. Every single episode of Haunt Weekly is there in its full glory for simple and easy listening and video, in little YouTube video formats. Well, with playlists for our news episodes and other things. Check it out. And also, of course, you can always find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. Mm-hmm. A few housekeeping items before we jump into it today. First things first, I have updated the COVID-19 page on hauntweekly.com. So go to hauntweekly.com/COVID-19. I added some webinars about reopening your haunted attraction. Your web haunt specifically.
Well, that might be a future thing that happens.
I might have just coined a term. Might be what just happened there. If so, I won't credit. But no. Some interesting webinars about opening your haunt safely amid COVID-19 and how to follow local guidelines, as well as some articles on that. Mm-hmm. Some good stuff there. Also, all of the information that Japes gave us is in there now. He has his own category on that page called Japes' stuff.
Right.
And it's his link to he mentioned the barbicide training, for example, de-escalation techniques, things like that. All of that's in there, plus his ideas for Halloween-related charades to help people learn how to communicate ideas while social distancing.
Yeah. So
some great stuff there. Everything's up, everything's running. Please keep the suggestions coming.
Yes.
We've been getting some great suggestions and great ideas for additions to it. Keep them coming. I will be updating periodically. I love it. Also, next time, we have some giveaways coming up.
Yes.
In future episodes, we have to give away a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
And we have a very special thing. We'll talk more about it next week, I think.
Right.
But we have a very special item from New Orleans haunted attraction history that we are going to be giving away. A friend of ours had a bunch of these. We was getting rid of them. We secured one specifically to give away on this podcast.
Yes.
To someone who will love it and cherish it. It is a piece of New Orleans haunted attraction history. I'm looking forward to dealing with that. But we need ideas for how to give them away.
Yeah.
We're not very good at coming up with contest ideas. It's not our wheelhouse.
Right. And the contest will be mainly for the New Orleans history piece. Mm-hmm. Because I think the buttons, we may send some of those to our top fans.
Yeah. We may do so. I don't know how we're going to do that, but
we'll have to talk about it.
We need ideas, basically. So spit ideas at us. You can do it in the chat if you're here live. Do it via hauntweekly.com's contact form. Also, comment on here on Facebook and Twitter at Haunt Weekly on both. Let us know your ideas. We got a fair amount of stuff to give away, and I'm excited to give it away because I like giving stuff away.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh? All right, as we've been doing since we moved to this live format, question for the audience this week.
Yes.
As with all the ones we've had lately, this is one that Crystal came up with.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, really like it. And it is, what makes your haunt unique, especially in your area, but in general, what makes your haunt unique? What do you do better or different or unusual at your haunt?
Right.
What makes why? And I'm particularly thinking, like, if I'm a customer, why would I choose your haunt over any other haunt?
Right.
Why your haunt specifically? What are you thinking for us though?
I think that we provide a bigger haunt experience than we should be able to in a garage for free. You know,
we definitely have a little bit of that TARDIS effect, where people are amazed it's still going. It's still And to me, it's a teeny tiny haunt. It's 600-ish square feet. It's not big at all, but we do have 5 wholly separate rooms, each with their own scares and things, and each flow into one another.
Yeah.
And we make the walking path in such a way, you get a lot of linear feet and not a lot of space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that, though, so lots of people could say, oh, we give a bigger haunt experience, right?
Yeah.
So I think the thing that makes us unique specifically is we try to design scares that are unique to us, that we don't see anywhere else in our area.
Yeah.
Most of our scares you won't find anywhere in Louisiana.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we do like going on those haunt trips far afield.
Right.
Because you will see things you don't see here. Different regions have their own different styles of scares and different things they do. And you can kind of tell, like one haunt in the area was sort of like the dominant idea place for a time.
Right.
And maybe that haunt ain't there no more. But like there was a place that came up with all these ideas that sort of entered the local haunt culture. Mm-hmm. And now everyone does these things. You almost feel obligated to do. We have no such feeling of obligation to do those things.
No, we don't. So we don't,
And you see, but you said that I think what makes us unique is the very strong application of storytelling.
Yeah.
We, even with our tiny space, even with how little we have, we try to tell a story. And by the way, we had a brief disconnect on the live. We're back now. Sorry.
Yep. Everybody's saying good things. So.
Cool. All right. Good beans, or cool beans, or hot beans.
Yes.
No, what do we say? Cool beans. Cool beans suck.
Because,
you want to eat some cold ass beans? You don't want to eat cold ass beans.
Because you were next to the Cool Beans coffee shop, and that's where we picked it up.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. All right. So talk about that idea. We'll come back to it at the end, I think.
Okay.
I think we should definitely do that at the end, because that's going to be a lengthier. I have a feeling.
Okay. Well, let me open up my notes so I can start writing them down.
All right. Fair enough. All right, so we're going to get it. Okay, it is episode 236. I screwed it up in the non-recorded part of the intro.
Yes.
So, yes, it is time to do the news. And, everyone, I know the phrase, these unprecedented times, these trying times, these challenging times, it's a trope. We all hate hearing it. We want to yeet things at the TV every time the commercial comes on.
Yeah.
In these trying times, we need to think about how we blah, 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 blah. I get it. But it does make these episodes, these news episodes, especially in like May and June, which is like right now, this is the time of year we're usually struggling for haunted attraction news. We're usually hurting bad trying to get haunted attraction news.
Yeah.
But not right now for obvious reasons. And there is a lot going on. So yeah, I guess I'll kick it off with our first story. Mm-hmm. Which we do not have a particular news article about it. It comes from multiple Facebook posts, actually there's a fair amount of these that come from multiple Facebook posts. But the Wilmington Haunted Hollow Ride dismisses actor who expressed Nazi... Well, he said Nazi shit, basically.
He said Nazi stuff, yeah.
And this, once again, this is not hyperbole. This is not exaggeration.
No.
This is not everyone that disagrees with me is not. No, actual fucking Nazi stuff.
Yeah.
And he came back and said, basically, oh, I was only being a Nazi on my time.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it better?
No. Not at all.
So, yeah, that is frustrating. That was it. And he was fired, and the haunt came forward and said he was only with us for 1 year. We were unaware. He will not be coming back. He's gone. And he tried to say that he was rehired, but the haunt came forward and said, look, everyone that works for the haunt is an independent contractor with a contract that expires on November 2nd.
Yeah.
So nobody's hired at the haunt technically right now.
Exactly.
Nobody works at the haunt other than the few people that are probably in the build team or whatever. So nobody works there right now. So he couldn't be hired back.
Right. That is very true.
So, and good on this haunt. I mean, having bad actors or having recruited someone that ends up being a bad actor like that, and a bad apple in that way, another phrase we're all getting overused out of, but someone like that is not the haunt's fault.
Right.
When you're recruiting actors, you have to take a lot of faith. You have to go in blind on a lot of things. We've had this exact same thing happen to us. Luckily for us, it never was a public thing.
Right.
We found out about it in private through his own. He showed his own ass on Facebook to us.
Yeah, basically he was an actor for a couple of years and then sent us a Facebook request, and then we learned more than he probably wanted us to know.
Yeah, and I feel bad for his son.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I'm sorry. He was horrible to work with.
Fair enough.
He was.
Fair enough. But no, so yeah, we that all was handled internally in our private groups. It never became a public thing. It was tough. And it was one of the situations where, we knew getting rid of him was going to mean losing 2 or 3 or other actors, because he also had another friend who came with him sometimes.
Right.
And we knew that. And it was at a time where we were pretty desperate for actors.
Yeah, we lost between 4 and 6 people.
Yeah.
Total.
But it was the right move. We did it.
Oh, yeah.
And look, this is something the haunt industry needs to do.
Yes.
Ooh, the rain's starting.
Yes, it is. That's
Dramatic
something
effect.
that's something that we didn't put in one of the ways that the haunt industry needs to change, but it totally needs to change in this way. There have been multiple reports on Haunters Hangout and things that have come out this week about haunters who are not responding to the Black Lives Matter movement on the side of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. And the responses are ranging from either bad to outright horrible.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
And look, Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
It's that simple. If that bothers you or upsets you, then show yourself the door, please.
Yeah.
Is that simple enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things that's happened is a lot of people are having to have teachable moments right now. They're having to learn. They're having to grow. Some people are resisting that. But as an industry, we need to be checking in on our actors and make sure that they are people that we want to associate with in this capacity. And here's the thing. Even if I can't convince you to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And it is.
Yes.
But even if I can't, think about this. If you find out that an actor you have is, we'll say, less than not racist.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's fair.
Less than not racist. They're going to be in a position of power and alone with people of color over the course of their run as an actor.
Yeah.
What happens when one of those people complain about an assault? What if they complain? What if they get injured? Now, maybe it has nothing to do with the racist tendencies, but if they find out that you knew about these tendencies and did nothing, a lawsuit might be the least of your worries.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, but we want to encourage, inclusivity for people in our industry.
Diversity helps grow the industry.
Exactly. And if we don't make safe spaces for diverse people, then they aren't going to want to be part of your haunt either.
Yeah. And they're not going to want to be a part of it. They're not going to want to go to your haunt.
No, and in fact, they'll spread the word. Don't go here.
Yeah. And I get it. There are some edgelord haunts out there that are... Don't do that.
We've talked about them before.
I think Japes covered him pretty well when we had him on. And I don't feel the need to retread his ground.
Yes,
he did excellent.
His term for trouble actors are cancerous.
Yes.
And that's very true.
No. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to cut the cancer out.
Yeah. Exactly.
And like I said, if you can't do it because it's the right thing to do it because it's the necessary thing to do.
Right.
For your own...
Yes, we hope that you do it for the right thing to do.
Yeah, I do. But if you can't or you want, at least do it because it's the necessary thing to do.
Yes.
Just makes sense.
It does. And I want to give a quick shout out to the Code Yellow guys. They posted a post saying that if you feel uncomfortable in your haunt or you want ways to leave your haunt and find another one that would be more suited for you, to just reach out to them. We completely support that. Also, we know that Japes has a trainer, an actor page. So there are jobs that are posted there that are looking for actors.
Yeah, Facebook group for independent actors.
Exactly. And I'll have to look that up and we'll put it in the notes and in the comments. But so if you are looking to leave because you've learned some things in the past week that you didn't know.
Past weeks or months.
Yeah. That's another place to go to find resources.
An excellent resource, yes. But basically, we're giving a lot of shout-outs to Code Yellow lately. They've been doing a lot of good work.
They have. We should team up.
No, we should. We should really do a crossover.
Crossover episode.
Called Haunt Yellow. Code Weekly? Neither of those work.
No.
No, okay. But no, seriously, they've been doing great work, and once again, they also took the correct stand and are doing great stuff.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, basically, and this obviously the big story is involving Wilmington Haunted Hollow, but other haunts are being impacted in quieter ways.
Right.
That was the one that really broke out all over Facebook, it seems. That one went everywhere, but there are other haunts having similar issues and facing similar challenges, and I hope our industry does as well as I think it should, because we've always been the industry of, we're haunters first, we're haunters, we're bound to one another, and we've been known as a safe place for LGBTQ for way before that was acceptable in mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream society.
Right.
We've been a safe place for a variety of people that society deemed less than.
Yes, exactly.
Continue the tradition, increase diversity.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Exactly.
All right, moving on. Because we got a lot of goddamn COVID shit to get through now. Oh, man. Okay, the big story related to that is that Fear Factory in Salt Lake City opened for one night.
Yes.
Now, they had planned a 2-night... Go ahead.
Yes, we thought that they were going to be closed, right?
Yes.
Like last week, we reported they're not doing it.
Yes.
Well, surprise.
They did. And there was a lot of mixed information as to what happened, and sort of the dust has settled now a week later, and our asses in New Orleans didn't get all the latest and greatest details.
Right.
Imagine that, right? But no. Basically, Fear Factory was able to open for one of those 2 nights.
Yes.
Salt Lake City, like a lot of places, had civil unrest. There was a curfew imposed for 8 p.m. that made it impossible for them to open one of those 2 nights.
Right.
They offered refunds to those customers because all the tickets were timed.
Right.
Remember? So they knew exactly who had tickets to go that day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Friday they were supposed to be open. They refunded those tickets, but they were able to open the other night. And apparently it was a decent success. All the news, they are hyping it up as a huge success. They're saying it was a sellout. The plan for social distancing was flawlessly executed. Now, obviously that's them saying it. They have every reason in the world. But it does look like from the photos and everything else that they took a lot of creative steps. They had a social distance queue, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and in the second article that you shared with me later, which we'll have to put in the notes.
That'll be the one I use in the show notes, I think.
Yeah. It actually has a link to their 30-page new safety protocol.
Yeah, that protocol keeps changing the number of pages it is.
Yeah. Right now it's 30.
It went from 7 to 10 to 30.
Yeah. But, I mean, I scanned through it earlier today, and it's some really good ideas for the haunt industry. Also, this is one you definitely want to check out the article, because they have pictures of how they use the masks with their actors.
They had the paper-style PPE masks.
Yeah,
and
some of them
did, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were airbrushing on top of those.
Yeah.
That way you get a complete makeup look and still have PPE.
Right. And some had the bigger gas mask and,
Yeah,
things
and
like that.
as a masked actor, I can pretty much guarantee you none of my spittle reaches anyone because it ends up getting dumped on my head at the end of the night.
Yeah.
In the gross moment of, especially like Halloween night, you take it off and all that spittle is just trapped. It's like a Nickelodeon sliming with your own spit. It's just horrifying.
It's disgusting. So we need vents. Well, not this year.
Not this year, another year. We'll work on it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, the day was reportedly a sellout. Everything went well. There were no issues with customers. Customers had masks, were required to wear masks. Distances were socially scared, and everyone seemed to have a good time. And like I said, if you believe there is any way for a haunted attraction to be open right now, and that's a debate worth having, but if you believe there is any way there could be, then this is the way to do it. They set that example. Now, is this going to be what we have to do in October? Don't know. We'll see when we get there, It's going to be interesting. That's a long, long damn way away.
Right.
So, I guess keep an eye on that because it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Our next story.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yay. Go ahead.
Disney World is set to reopen.
Yes.
They have set their reopening date. They're going to reopen on July 11th.
That's for Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom.
Right.
This is the Orlando Disney World. It's Disneyland in California and Disney World in Florida, but still, this is Orlando.
Okay. And this article is from CNN and Frank Pallotta.
Yeah.
So employees and guests are going to be required masks. They're undergoing temperature screenings. Park capacity is going to be reduced.
Mm-hmm.
Parades, fireworks, and similar events are suspended because that
draws
crowds.
That's impossible to social distance.
Exactly. They're increasing hand sanitizing stations, and I believe that I saw that they're also they've also built U-Rest spaces.
Yes. No, that's at Universal. That's the next
That's at
story.
Universal?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, we got two back to back.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, then that's a neat idea I want to get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're opening on the 11th and the 15th for the various parks. They're not opening the water parks yet. That seems prudent. No. And the other thing that they're doing is they're limiting it to people who only had previous reservations.
Yeah.
You can't just rock up and go to Disney World.
No, which I would think that would be an interesting thing to be able to go and experience, to have the park to yourself, or what it feels like to yourself.
Yeah, well, in Disney World, I've been wondering this. What is the capacity of a theme park? I know that there is a capacity because Disney World and other theme parks have hit capacity and had to turn people away.
Right.
That has happened. There was a park, I can't remember which one it was in Texas, that kept having 2-for-1 days.
Right.
And every time they did it, they would be so packed that they had to turn people away. So I know there is a capacity, but it's defining capacity in a theme park has got to be interesting. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting question. But I think they said they were operating at about 25% capacity. Yeah. So, yeah, that is interesting. And theme parks have an edge over haunted attractions because most of a theme park is outdoors. And what we're learning about the way this virus and viruses in general are transmitted is that outdoor air is better for a variety of reasons than indoor air. Indoor air is very directional. It can blow germs long distances one way.
Right.
Where outside air is swirly and weird and has sunlight.
And not recirculated.
Not recirculated. And has sunlight that helps to kill things. So, yeah, you can get sick from someone if you're outside, but it's much more difficult. Mm-hmm. So that's why outdoor seating and outdoor dining at restaurants is coming back faster than indoor seating and indoor dining.
Right.
So yeah, and Shanghai, the Shanghai Disneyland, Shanghai China, they opened on May 11th. I totally missed that. I did not hear about that happening.
Right.
That should have been last news episode, but apparently it slipped underneath our radar. I don't know how.
They probably didn't announce it, or there was so much news last month. Way more than we anticipated. But that means that they've got, a template in place that they can check and make sure that it's working before they open the one in Florida.
Yeah, this is not some random experiment. Is the reason to include that, is they've had about a month's worth of practice elsewhere. Or actually 2 months, no, June and July. They've had 2 months of
exactly.
practice, so they've had some time to figure it out and get the details on. And speaking of theme parks in Asia,
Yes.
this one's interesting because the several of the quote-unquote fun fairs, basically what we think of as theme parks, in Japan have opened. Now, this does not include Tokyo Disneyland or Universal Studios Japan, the two major ones there. But others have reopened with a very particular set of rules. And one of them involves the haunted houses. Haunted houses are very popular in these parks.
Right.
There, all of these scares have to be socially distanced, meaning actors are not allowed to get anywhere within 6 feet of the customers.
Yeah.
They're requiring, basically what they were talking about doing at Fear Factory, but it's being codified here as well. So I think this is becoming a trend now.
Yeah. So start thinking about how your actors are going to scare from a distance of more than 6 feet.
I do not know how to enforce this, but they say customers are not allowed to scream on roller coasters.
I don't know either, because I'm like, there's no way that's going to happen.
Oh, God. Well, and what happens if you do? They throw you off the roller coaster?
Stop. We got to get that person off.
You're out of here, buddy. You don't throw them off.
Yeah.
But I'm at the very top. Oh, man. I mean, you're not allowed to make physical contact with any of the costume characters. That makes sense. That's just
right.
And no free samples for vendors, and no, toys or things that are put out. The shops won't have sample toys, if I'm trying to get at.
Right, or the little carts that they push around, probably.
Yeah, nothing for multiple people to touch and fool around with. Like I said, it's interesting, the rules. These are things to think about. And that's something we didn't talk about when the COVID-19 prep and all that, was the changes that might be coming to the gift shop and snack booths and things that you have.
Oh, yeah.
That just didn't come up at all. And it's like,
No.
gift shops, you're going to have to find a way to make it so that not everyone's fondling the same.
Well, not only that, but lots of them are small at haunts.
Yeah.
So you don't want, people crowded in there.
How do you social distance queue this? How are you?
Yeah, this also makes it where sales are going to be lost. They just are, because not everybody's going to want to go through the haunt and then wait in line to go into the gift
And thinking
shop.
locally, 13th Gate is well set up. They already pretty much have this.
Right, yeah.
They have a big area where you can queue up, and they have a booth, and everything's behind the counter. So, and you're already about 6 feet away from the person you're trying to talk to.
Exactly.
That's already in place. But Rise, they just built this very nice new gift shop.
They did.
And everything is out in the open. There's T-shirt racks and buckets of pens and things like that. And it's like, you just go around and you put your grubby little hands on everything.
Yeah.
Might be in order. Rearrange might be in order.
Yeah, it's
a reimagining.
It's gonna have to, I'm seeing, the T-shirt wall.
Yeah.
With just the cubbies for the employee
to pull and give. I see that becoming a thing. So that's just some interesting points on how they're doing it and the steps they're taking.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Universal Orlando also reopened on Friday. Sorry, I think that was your story. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
It's okay. So this article is by Gabrielle Rousson. Rousson. And Dwayne Bevel of the Orlando Sentinel. So, like you said, they opened Friday to light crowds. People described it as weird and uncanny because surreal being there without a lot of people.
And they were even socially distancing on the roller coasters. Like only every other row was being used, and you can only sit with members of your group.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes sense.
And all this makes sense, but it's just stuff you don't think about until you see photos and go, "Why is that cart half full of people?"
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody, in spite of the heat, had to wear the mask. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, they did set up rest zones, which are outdoor seating areas where the tables are 6 to 8 feet apart, and you can take your mask off and relax and drink your drinks and
And honestly, that is a brilliant idea.
It is.
Because and look, wear your damn mask, people. Wear your damn mask. But it also, I'm the first to acknowledge, it's uncomfortable, it's hot, and of course, you need breaks from it. Now, when you're doing what we're doing with it, we're still pretty much under lockdown here locally.
Right.
So all of my trips, like the mask is on for 5 minutes while I run into the grocery store or while I get the beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's never on for more than like 15 minutes at a time.
Right.
But if you're going to have an attraction or a theme park where people are going to be mulling around for hours, you need to think about how you're going to incorporate mask breaks into that.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is a brilliant idea. Little tables, way set apart, sit with your group, no one else.
Mm-hmm.
And drink your drink, have your mask off, and then when you leave that zone, you put it back on. And we spend hours at haunted attractions. This could be a thing that they need to do too.
Yeah. Table seating.
Yeah. So something to think about. I thought this was a really cool idea.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. The rides did still have 45-minute waits, but
Partly because of the
spaced
reduced
out.
capacity of the ride.
Exactly, and it seems like roller coasters have a tendency to pull face masks down whenever you're on them.
Interesting.
That was in the article. So there's all of these pictures of people with their face masks down, but nobody's smiling in any of the photos.
No.
Yeah, and the caricaturists are not getting a lot of work right now.
I'd imagine not.
Yeah, because they're like, it'd be much easier. I can draw a mask.
Done, mask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you go to somewhere and they have a caricature artist, go ahead and get your portrait done with a mask on. You might want it in future
and
years.
about to say, you might think that sounds absolutely stupid, but that definitely dates when that portrait was taken.
Exactly.
That dates it perfectly.
Exactly.
So, just,
Future archaeologists will find this and go, oh yeah, that must have been when the pandemic was going on.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Next item, even though this isn't directly haunted attraction related, it's important to note because of the dates. This is an article by Justin Curto at Vulture. It's looking increasingly like Coachella 2020 is going from postponed to canceled outright.
Right.
Basically what happened is Coachella normally takes place in April. Mm-hmm. They pushed back to October as a means of trying to be able to open in the midst of the pandemic. But now they are going around and calling artists and asking them if they can play 2021 instead.
Right.
Which means that they clearly don't think they're going to be able to have a festival in October.
Right.
Now, obviously, a music festival is different than a haunted attraction. No one's saying they aren't. Then it's much easier to social distance and do things like that with a haunted attraction. But I think this is a sign that we're still going to be feeling the effects very strongly come October, especially in terms of the need for social distancing, not being in crowds. And so at the very least, be thinking about these things. Basically, all the things to make a music festival can't happen in October.
Right.
Except for overpriced beer. Overpriced beer can happen anytime.
Yes, it can.
You just have to go to your local brewery for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so basically be thinking about the implications of that and how if Coachella's not happening, why is it not happening, and how will that impact us?
Right. Which does mean that there's less competition, but I still don't see a lot of haunts opening.
Yeah, well, and the thing is like, what does the competition matter as much if we're all opening at limited capacity?
Right.
Do you open more nights at lower capacity per night? No, we've had this whole conversation.
Yeah, we did.
What's
we
the
just
answer?
talked about all this.
We did. I don't have the answers to that, and I'm as befuddled and as heartbroken as anyone that I don't have the answers. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on.
Happier stuff, please.
All right. So, go ahead.
Okay, I really didn't want to have to figure out how to say this, but I think it's the AI. It's literally the AI dot Ringling Theater. I have no idea why it has AI dot in the name, but it is in the name.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a typo.
No, it's not a typo. It's in the article in multiple places.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to call it the Ringling Theater because I'm sick of playing that game. Sorry to the AI dot Ringling Theater for that. Mm-hmm. But it's in Baraboo, Minnesota. It's actually in between the two big cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul in Minnesota. It's in the nothingness, if I remember correctly. They are planning to reopen the theater in October as a haunted attraction. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was interesting. Normally they have a big slate of concerts, movies, and stage performances. They do a little bit of everything in this, and it makes sense. Smallish town theater.
Right.
You're going to get a wild mix of things. And apparently they had some pretty big names play there at various points. So, and then again, I don't know how big of a name Steely Dan really is.
Okay, so big enough names from like
The
20,
70s.
30 years ago.
Longer than that. You're in 2020.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyways,
Right.
normally they have this slate of activities. They do movies, plays, and concerts. They've obviously been shut down due to COVID-19. But they're using the downtime to perform repairs, reorganize, and clean the building. I'm like, you weren't cleaning the goddamn building?
Well,
I
probably
understand.
not to COVID standards.
And I totally
Because
get
COVID standards are different.
And no, I get that, and that's why it's like that's a joke.
Yeah.
I completely understand that there is cleaning and cleaning.
Yeah.
They're doing the latter, and I get that. So yeah, they're planning to open it as a haunted attraction in October. I think it will be the first in that area, is what the article seemed to hint at. It didn't say it outright. We'll get more information about it in summer, though. So probably the next news episode. 'Cause it's we're entering we're in June, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll know more about it in the next month or so, and it'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see because we've been to a haunt in a theater before.
Yes.
We did in Poplarville.
We did.
It was an interesting experience, and
It was.
And honestly, you can always trust theater kids and the theater type to put on a decent show.
Well, yeah, and I mean that was one of the most interactive with the actors haunt that I've been to.
Yeah, it wasn't like a touch haunt, but you
Right.
were expected to engage.
Well, no, you could consent to be touched there.
Okay, there was light touch. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But no, it was you were required to engage verbally,
Yes.
and it was fun. It was an interesting
Yeah.
experience, and I'm glad we went. They've not, to my knowledge, had it since. But
Right.
anyways, moving on. You can take this one. None of the words.
What I was gonna say is that I find it interesting that they feel that it's safer to open a haunted house than their normal things that they do.
But that makes a degree of sense because a theater, you have a bunch of people sitting shoulder to shoulder, breathing the same air.
Yeah.
You can social distance the seating, but
Yeah.
but that really goes against the business model of a haunted attraction. You have groups of people who hopefully were quarantined together, going through at a social distance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's a certain sense and certain logic to it.
Yes. So our next article, James actually turned us on to this
Yes.
and we started looking for it. So now we found out news about it. Lego has unveiled a new 3,200 piece haunted house as a latest creator expert set.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
So this is an actual haunted attraction.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just a mansion.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, they've done the spooky mansion before. Through the cobwebs and the candelabras. They've done
Yeah.
that before. No, this is not that. This is an actual haunted attraction with a
Yeah.
ticket booth and ticket takers and things like that.
It's over 2 feet tall. Like I said, 3,200 pieces. And this is from Blair Outland at 9 to 5 Toys, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, it retails for over $250 and it is out of stock everywhere.
Completely.
But, it looks amazing and we can, possibly do a back order or something.
And we're tempted to put one on back order.
Yeah.
Don't know when, if it would arrive, but it does seem like a really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
And I would love one of these, and I know Japes is looking for one for his friend, his recently deceased friend.
Yes, they are. The group that they're in are going to build it and then engrave his name on it.
Yes, I think that's an awesome tribute.
I do too.
All right, so our last story. Once again, trying to end on happier news. Haunters Against Hate has announced its next book.
Yes.
They do regular books as part of, as a way of having something to sell and support their charity and their cause. The next one is Black Haunters Matter.
Yes.
It will feature black actors and from various haunts. And like the last one they did was the clown book.
Yes.
Where they had all clowns.
Right.
So this one will be focused on black haunters, and this is awesome. This is great. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about it other than nice.
Yeah.
They've announced the initiative. They've started work on it. They've got a few photos, it seems, already.
Submissions for
a few submissions, but yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah, and all of the proceeds for this will go to Black Lives Matter related charities.
Yep. Yeah, Hunters Against Hate is a great organization. I remember when they got their start and the things that they've done since then.
Right.
It's been amazing to watch a charity come out organically from the haunted attraction industry like this. Because usually we're known for working with charities, not having the charities spring from within, you know?
Right.
And because, obviously there's this huge connection between haunted attractions and charities, but usually it's, you team up with whoever else. And here, we are the charity.
Yes.
And that's awesome.
It is.
So, yeah, I love that. So, we have to revisit our daily question now. What makes your haunt unique? And I think we have a couple of answers.
Yes, we do have two.
Okay, go for it.
So far. Derek Muehlberger says he's got a trailer park of terror that's made of actual mobile homes. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. And go ahead. No, I was just going to say, we've been inside haunted attractions built in trailers. Beulah Fun Park was that way. Beulah Fun Park was terrible, where I know Derek's is awesome, so I really hesitate to even make the slightest comparison between the two. The only thing that's like saying that's like saying, well, your haunt's in a warehouse, it must suck.
Right.
It's just a shell, was the saying. Derek's haunt is built with love and care, and Beulah Fun Park was built as a cash grab. Really, that's what it comes down to. But no, that is interesting and exciting.
And the other answer we have is from Pete Blackwell, I'm sorry. Added an R to your name.
It's all right. It's still Ryan McGregor on the whole episode of this podcast.
Yeah, and it should be Gregor.
It should be Gregor. It's Ryan Gregor.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So, he works in it. That makes it unique, because he's a very unique person. And he's also the only haunt within 2.5 hours of his haunt.
That, yeah, okay, well, if you're the only choice, that is definitely unique.
That makes people want to go to.
Yeah, that makes it an easy choice, because 2.5 hours is a long, long goddamn way.
Yeah, we do it.
Well, we do it every year.
We're not normal, as we've said. We're not a normal customer.
I'm trying to think, hang on. We're based in New Orleans. The longest haunt we make the annual drive to. I think we definitely do 13th Gate every year. That's 90-ish minutes away.
Right.
But 2.5 hours put us in Lafayette.
Right.
And we don't regularly do Lafayette haunts.
Yeah, we may... the trail haunt there last year had improved significantly from the first time we were there.
Yeah, and I think that may be a recurring thing.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, 2.5 hours is actually a 5-hour trip.
Right.
Because you got to go there and back.
Right.
Well, unless you get a hotel or something.
Exactly, which we might do. I mean, we've got to see what haunts are opening and plan out our this year's trips. If there are any,
it's going to depend upon COVID, upon money, upon time, the list keeps coming.
Yeah.
The things it depends upon.
Yeah.
So more information on that closer in, obviously. But no, I think that would be, if that becomes a recurring stop at Trail Haunt. Shoot, I can't remember the name of it now, and it's totally slipped my brain.
Okay. I will try to look it up real quick.
Yeah, but no, that would be 2.5 hours. That would be the furthest regular haunt we have, because we don't do much in Mississippi these days.
Fright Trail.
God damn it! That's why I didn't remember it.
Yeah, it was too...
I kept thinking Fright Trail. I'm like, no, it's too easy. It's not it.
Yeah, exactly. I had the same problem.
It's way too easy. It can't be that. God, quit being stupid, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So no, that's some good suggestions there. 2.5 hours. That is a long ways to have exclusivity.
Yeah.
That is a thing. So yeah, excellent answers, excellent suggestions. On that note, I actually owe an apology, I think, because previously I said, not in this episode, in the previous episode, I had said, and I can't remember if I apologized for this already, that there were no trail haunts in New Orleans. I forgot about Scout Island! My baby Jesus, I go there every year! I walk the Devil's Trail. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, and see,
Apologies to all of Scout Island for somehow forgetting you, but yet remembering the haunted trail we went to near Rise, did the hay ride on.
Right.
I did.
Yeah.
Unbelievably stupid.
Well, it's because we don't think of them as a trail haunt because there's so much else to do.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing. Like, Scout Island exists as a combined experience, and the whole experience is outdoors. And we were talking about outdoor attractions,
right?
But to me, it's a haunted theme park, haunted scream park, so to as they call it.
Yeah.
Not a trail haunt. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But oh my God, that is. I mean, I literally, because Kevin from there was on the chat that night. We hang up the chat, and I go, I forgot Scout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so embarrassing.
Mm.
So yes, I forgot to, and of course I forget to apologize for that during the housekeeping parts, but I'm making right now, I'm sorry to everyone at Scout Island that I forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell that happened.
Right.
I will take my lashings later. Well, I think that's all we have right now. Got a few extra minutes if we have anything else we want to do, but we're also within the pocket where we can end comfortably.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't have a set ending time. We just try to get somewhere near 50-ish minutes and make it work. Well, on that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining us for this past hour on Haunt Weekly. We greatly appreciate you and greatly appreciate those of you who rearranged your schedule so that you could be with us today when we had to move up. The squalls are getting mighty out there. I can hear them. Probably, I bet the microphone can too, but it is getting mighty loud out there. So I'm glad we moved it up now because I have a feeling we may not have power in about 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
I have a feeling you're going to be scheduling this ahead of time. So it'll just do its thing.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll do the editing part now.
Yeah. But
Anyways, we'll make it work one way or the other. But thank you all for joining us. Please, if you have not done so, go to hauntweekly.com. That's our main website. It has all the stuff links off of there. We're Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. YouTube.com/HauntWeekly is our YouTube channel. Every episode of this chicanery is available there.
Yeah.
You are not want for Haunt Weekly content, believe me, if you have access to Haunt Weekly, if you have access to YouTube. But if always, find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are in all the places. We have a great podcast host that makes very good sure of that. Mm-hmm. We pay them good money.
Yeah.
So they better goddamn all make sure of it.
Yeah.
On that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this has been Haunt Weekly, episode 236, doing the news for May and June. We'll see you guys next week.